So if you're having problems with getting off grease, grime, mold, or any type of just dirt around your house, whether it's on the floors, in your bathroom, sink, on your stovetop, then this steam cleaner might be the solution. So let's talk about the TVD steam cleaner. I'm gonna go over all the different accessories. I'm gonna go over how to start this thing, how to fill it, and then of course a demo on a bunch of different things in my house to help you make a better buying decision for your steam cleaner and to see how well this thing actually works. Okay, before we go over the cleaning, let's go over everything that you get with this steam cleaner. So you get a lot. This is a complete kit. So let's go over everything here. So of course, you have the steam cleaner itself, pretty small, very portable, has wheels, so you can just wheel this thing around. Obviously the handle right here so you can carry it while you're steam cleaning. Also, we have the cable, which is around 16 feet, so really long. And then we have the on button on top right here. And then we have our little cap we can put in the water. And then we of course have our hose with the gun. We also have a safety lock on the bottom of the gun, which is really nice. That way we're not accidentally giving off steam when we lay this thing down. Also, we have our little button on top for the attachments here that we'll cover in a second. And then we can also change the amount of steam. If you look on the gun, we do min and max. So it's nice that we can have this adjustment for the amount of steam. Okay, so let's just have an overview of all the attachments here. So you can see it's quite a lot. So let's go ahead and break down each one here. So first, we have our main attachment nozzle, and this is gonna work for most all of our attachments. So what we do is we just simply put this on, thread it through, wait till we hear the click, and it's good to go. And this is going to be our attachment for all these right here. So let's go over these. So we have two large nylon brushes. See, very thick. And then we have our two small nylon brushes. They're the same. Also very thick, very sturdy. You can see they're I'm bending them and they're just going straight back up. And then we have our large and small copper ones. So for those really tough areas. So I mean, this is not bending at all. Same with this small copper one. It's the same material on all of these black brushes here. And this is good for like countertops in your bathroom. Okay, and then we have our high pressure nozzle for those really small areas, whether that be grout in between tile or just anywhere that's hard to get. This will work really well. Then we have our ironing attachment. What's nice is we have little cloths to go over top of this. Okay. And then, so those are all the attachments that will work for this attachment that we added to the gun. Okay, so let's show how to attach to this head here. So we'll just grab one of our attachments, and we can see there are two little prongs on the sides right there. We can see there are two slots for the prongs right there. So we just line those up, go ahead and push on in, and then twist, and then it's locked into place, and it's not gonna come off. And we wanna take off the attachment, twist, and then pull out. And again, that's the same for the large heads, the small ones, the large and small copper ones, the wave brush, high pressure nozzle, as well as the ironing attachment. Okay, moving on to the other attachments here. So to take off the attachment here, just go ahead and press in. We have this larger rotating head. So this will rotate when the steam comes out. And this just goes right into the device like that. Okay. One thing to note, we also have a mirror glass attachment. And this attaches onto the ironing attachment like that. Okay, and then we have our floor brush. So to set up our floor brush, we have our little mop pad. Let's go ahead and lay this down, put it in the center. And then we just go ahead and put on in the little mat on the two clamps on both sides. Okay, and then to attach this to the gun, we're gonna go ahead and have our second attachment here. Before we do that, I'm gonna go over the extenders right here, because of course we're gonna need to extend out the gun to work with the floor attachment. So what we can do is now grab the extenders right here. Go ahead and put 2 of them together. 3 are included. So just go ahead and slot that through. And then we'll take our gun, slot this through as well. Hear the click. And then we'll finally add our attachment for the floor mop. Okay, and then we can go ahead and now attach this. Go ahead and twist it on in and push. Okay, so I had to twist it around, so I just reversed this, and now we have it attached, and we're ready to start mopping. The last few things that we get with our purchase. So we get these mittens, so we can handle the device, when we're taking off the cap and it's hot. Of course, we'll always want to let this sit for a few minutes before we take off the cap. Also important to note that this cap will not be able to be turned once there's pressure in here. And then we also get our measuring cup as well as our funnel. We'll need to use these. So the capacity of this is 1.5 liters, but we're only gonna be able to put in 1.3 liters. We don't wanna overfill this. This is the recommended amount. So we just have to do 500 milliliters twice and then 300 milliliters to get to 1.3. So very simple. We'll go over that in a second as we set this up. And as far as how much use you get out of this with the 1.3 liters, it's around 35 minutes of continuous steam with it. So you do get quite a lot of steam. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill this up. So we want the device turned off. Go ahead and take off the cap. We have 500 milliliters of water in here. So important to note about the water, just want to check in your area if you have harder water, because you will need to clean out the machine more frequently if you do have harder water. Just do a quick internet search. And cleaning is very simple. You just put in 250 milliliters of white vinegar and water, and you just let it sit there for about a half hour and just repeat the process again. So again, check to make sure just how hard your water is. And that's really for any device that you add water to, whether that be an ice maker or anything like that. It's the same problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in the funnel. And again, we're gonna do 1.3 liters. Even though this thing has a capacity of 1.5, we wanna put in 1.3 liters. Okay, another 500 milliliters. There we go. And the final 300 milliliters. Take out the funnel. Screw this back on. Make sure it's tight. And go ahead and just turn it on. See, it lights up. And we'll want to wait around 8 minutes. Okay, so we're ready to start cleaning. So you can see we have a spill here. So we're going to use the little mop. So we can, of course, put this down. And when the machine is ready after 8 minutes, the blue lights are going to turn off. And you can see how easy it is to move around. Not a problem. You can also just drag it. So we'll go ahead and unlock the safety on the bottom. Okay, so now we're ready to start mopping. So we can just go ahead and press down on the trigger. Okay, so really effective. No spot at all. Completely cleaned. Look at the bottom. Okay, so let's move on to the stovetop now. Okay, so we have the stovetop here. Gone ahead and taken off the extenders, and we're now using the rotating brush. Go ahead and turn up the steam a bit, a little bit more higher power. And then make sure that the safety's on when you're changing out nozzles. Go ahead and turn off the safety now. Go ahead and start cleaning this. All right, so I got a lot of grime there. Let's see if we can get some more of that off. So that came off nicely right there on both spots. Always have a cloth around just to wipe up the water a little bit. And then when you're cleaning off stuff, Make sure that you clean off some of the particles first, because this is, it's a steam cleaner. It's not a vacuum. We have a lot of grime right here. Okay, and that took it off beautifully. Yeah, that was great right there. Okay, let's do a few more spots on here. You see right here, there's a spot. And then, yeah, just around this entire area, there's just a bunch of grime. Okay, then wipe it off. Let's see how well it did. Pretty good job. You can see all those spots are gone. It's just easily wipeable. So it got most of the grime, but there's still just a little bit right there. As you can see, it's really stuck on there. It's probably been on there for quite a long time. So we're gonna use a different head for that now. Okay, so we have the high pressure nozzle. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right, let's go wipe that off. Let's see. So still really stuck on there. So it just depends on what you have stuck. Some things might not come off. I mean, this just looks like it's just completely stuck on there. Okay, so we're now gonna go over removing the grout. So this should be white, so you can see it's pretty dirty. And now we're going to use the copper coil head here. Let's go ahead and start scrubbing. You can see a lot of the dirt coming up right there and it's starting to get white right there. So we'll go ahead and dry this off. You can see it's already starting to become white again. So yeah, this works perfectly. Okay, so you can see how dirty our mirror is here. We now have our attachment for the mirror. So ready to go. Still want a towel as well. Squeegee doesn't quite get everything. Okay, wipe it up here. You can see it easily took off all those stains that were right there. Okay, so you still need a paper towel for this. Just gonna wipe this up. Okay, perfect. So you can see it took off all those stains right there, and it's incredibly clean. It's spotless, really. Okay, so now we have the sink. You can see that it's pretty dirty. We have our wave brush attachment. Let's go ahead and go over the sink. Yeah, so that worked really well. We'll go on this side where there's more stains right here from toothpaste. On the side. There we go. Cleans off nicely, and we can get inside the sink as well. Cleans it off nicely. Then one more spot right here, we can see toothpaste. It's a little bit hard to see because it's white bowl. That came off nicely. And then finally, just little yellow spots right here. Boom, perfectly clean. Okay, so as you saw, this worked really well. Worked well on really everything we tried it on. It cleaned it very nicely. So this has a ton of uses. It's great that you have all of these attachments with your purchase. So you can really just clean anything in your house, you know, going into upholstery, going, from, your car seats. This will work really well for. So the pros of this. So one of the main pros is there are no chemicals. It is just water in this thing. High temperature water being steamed out. So you don't have to worry about any chemicals, any allergies, just getting chemicals anywhere. This works really well. It's just worry-free. So this is definitely great, if you have kids, you don't want to use any chemicals, you're just going to be using water for your cleaning. Other pros, as I mentioned, all the attachments, very versatile. Also, just the amount of cleaning that you can do with one tank, around 35 minutes of continuous steam. That's plenty of steam to clean a lot of areas of your house. Also, this is just really portable, has wheels, has a really long extension cord, so you can really just carry it wherever around the house. As far as any cons, I really don't have any cons for this thing. This is not an industrial strength steam cleaner. Just keep that in mind. So it's not going to clean everything as you saw on the stovetop. There's a lot of really hard to get grime off that, and this wasn't able to take that off. So it's not gonna be able to clean everything. Just keep that in mind. But for all your uses, as you saw, there was just grout that was on the floor that was really stuck on there. This handled it perfectly. All the stains in the sink, that handled that really well also. So who is this for? Really anyone who just needs a much stronger cleaner without chemicals, this will work excellent for. There's always those hard to get stains, around your house that just scrubbing is not gonna get. So steam cleaner can handle these, and this one handles those really well. So definitely check out the TVD steam cleaner, and good luck with your steam cleaning.